All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to go through the steps on the calculator for getting a scatter plot to show up on your screen, how to find the line of best fit, how to have the calculator graph the line of best fit, and how to find the correlation coefficient. All right, so here we go. So the first thing is to type the data in. So to type the data in, we're going to hit our Stat button. And we're going to pick number 1, Edit. Again, let me do that. Stat, and then number 1, Edit. Now, I have some numbers typed in my list. If you have numbers typed in your list, you can get rid of them by using your up arrow, go to the top, hit the clear button, and then hit enter and it will clear the list. Alright, same thing with the list 2. If you don't want what's in list 2, go to the top, hit clear, and then hit enter and it will clear the list. So this is where we're going to type our information. All right, so I'm going to type some numbers in. All right, so in list 1, I'm going to type the numbers 1 through 7. Okay, after each number, make sure you hit enter. I'm going to go to list 2. Okay, list 2 are my Y values. List 1 was my X values. Okay, so in L2, my Y values are the following. Again, I'm just typing these numbers from a list that I have. Each number in list 1 must have a partner in list 2. If it does not have a partner, this will not work. You will get an error message. All right, so I've typed in numbers in list 1 and list 2, and it's very important that it's list 1 and list 2. If list 1 and list 2 are missing, then you need to reset your calculator. And I'll go through that process in a little bit if we need to do that. Okay, so hopefully list 1 and list 2 are there. All right, so again, I went Stat, and I picked number 1, Edit, and I typed in my numbers. Now, we want the graph to show up on our calculator. But first we need to turn on our scatter plot. To turn on our scatter plot, we hit the second button here in the left-hand corner, and then we hit our Y equals button. Okay, above that it says Stat Plot. So we're turning on our scatter plot. So we're going to pick number 1. So just pick number 1. Right now you can observe that it's off because off is highlighted. To turn it on, I'm going to hit enter. Now it's turned on. Notice how off is no longer highlighted. Now, the type of graph that we want, there are 6 types. Okay, well, the first one is the scatter plot. So use your down arrow to go to the scatter plot. If we would want to graph anything else, we would want to move our arrow key on top of whatever we want to graph, and then we would hit enter. Okay, but we don't want that last one. So I'm going to go back to the scatter plot, which is the first one, and I'm going to hit enter. Okay. Now, in our X list, we need to have L1 because that's where we typed the X values from our list. Our Y list needs to say L2. That's where we typed our Y list in L2. Again, if that's not right, then I'm going to show you how to reset your calculator. Okay, so it's on. The calculator is ready to graph it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the zoom button at the top. Okay, I have to back out a second. Let me do it again. I have to hit the zoom button on top, And I'm going to pick zoom 9. Now you do not have to scroll to number 9, but I'm going to show you what number 9 says. Number 9 says zoom stat. What that will do is that will create a screen so that you can see the scatter plot. Okay, so you can just hit zoom and then the number 9. You do not have to scroll there. All right, so there's our scatter plot. As x goes up, y goes up. So this is a positive scatter plot. Okay, it has a positive correlation. All right, so that's half our task. We got the scatter plot to show up. Now, if you're having problems and your lists are all messed up, I'm going to show you what to do. I'm not going to actually physically do it, but I'm going to go through. So if your calculator's not working, you're getting an error message, okay, you got to start over again. So, but you need to reset your calculator. To reset your calculator, you hit second, and then you hit the plus sign. Above the plus sign is memory. Okay, and then if you look, it will say, you look for the word reset. Different calculators have it in a different spot. So my reset is number 7, so I would pick number 7. Now, I'm not going to reset my calculator because then I have to start over again. But if you need to reset your calculator, you would then go ahead and pick number 2, the defaults. Okay, just clear it all out and have the calculator go back to its original setting. All right, so again, if you have to reset it, it's second, plus sign, then the numbers, wherever your reset is. My reset's number 7, and then clear out or set the defaults. Okay, pick the number and hit enter. All right, but I'm not going to do that because I don't want to reset it. All right, so I've got my scatter plot showing up. Now, what I want the calculator to do is I want the calculator to tell me what is the equation for the line of best fit. Okay, so here we go. So these are the buttons to push. We're going to hit stat, calculate, and we're going to pick number 4. Again, let me go through that. So in order to get the line for the best fit line, the equation, we're going to go stat. We're going to go to calculate, so right arrow to calculate, and we pick number 4. Now, if you have a newer calculator, this is what you see. If you have an older calculator, all you have to do is hit enter. Those of you with the new calculator, again, make sure it says list 1 and list 2 for X list and Y list, but you need to scroll down and then hit enter. So there are the numbers for our equation. For that scatter plot, for the numbers that we typed in. That's going to be the line of best fit. All right, let me run through it one more time. Stat, calculate, and then it's number 4, the linear regression. And then again, with the older calculator, just hit enter. If you have a newer one, go down to calculate and hit enter. Now, I'm going to take this equation and I'm going to type it into my y equals screen. All right, so I can see it says y equals ax plus b, and it tells me what a is and it tells me what b is. All right, so I'm going to go to my y equals in the upper left-hand corner, y equals. So I'm going to type 27x, the x is next to the alpha button, plus the 699. Okay, I'm not going to type the decimal part. So there is my equation for the line of best fit. Again, you got to go to your y equals and then type it in. Now, I can just hit graph. Just hit the graph button and it will put the line through the dots. Hence, line of best fit. All right? So I showed you how to put the data into the calculator. I showed you how to turn on the scatter plot. I just showed you how to have the calculator find the numbers for the equation for the line of best fit. Now, there's one more thing I want to show you, and that's the correlation coefficient. Okay? Right now, the calculator does not know it's supposed to find it. It has not been turned on. So, most likely, the calculator has not been, that part has not been turned on. So I'm going to show you where that is in case it's not turned on. If it was turned on, ladies and gentlemen, you would already have seen it when we found the equation. Okay, so here we go. So this is to help turn on the correlation coefficient. We hit the second button. Then we hit the 0 button, which is the catalog. Now, the catalog is alphabetized. So what we need to do is we need to go to diagnostic on. Now, you can jump to the D's by hitting the D button. Okay, or you can just use your down arrow and scroll to the D's. I'm going to jump to the D's using my D button. Okay. All right, now I'm going to go look for what's called diagnostic on. So I have to scroll through my D's. Okay, and there's diagnostic off and diagnostic on. Notice how the little arrow right here is pointing to diagnostic on. All I need to do is hit enter. And you might have to hit enter twice. Okay, so just to be on the safe side, hit enter again. It says done. That means the diagnostic has been turned on. Now the calculator is also going to tell you the correlation coefficient. All right, so we're going to do that last step. We're going to go stat. We're going to go calculate. And then pick number 4 again. But this time, since we turned on the diagnostic, it's going to tell me the correlation coefficient, which is the R. Okay, here we go. Right there it is. It's on the bottom, right by the blinking cursor. So this correlation, R, equals 0.976. That's very strong because it's close to 1. All right? So let me run through this one more time. Okay, I'm going to run through the whole thing. So I'm going to put some new data in. So I'm going to go stat, edit. I'm going to clear out list 1 and I'm going to clear out list 2. Okay, I'm just going to make up some numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and just put 4, 7, 9, 10, and 12. All right. Now I'm going to make some numbers up to match it in L2. So I'm going to go with, let's say -2, -4, -5, -9, and let's put -14. All right. Now, I've already turned my scatter plot on, so I don't need to do it again, but I'll run through it again. So to make sure your scatter plot is on, go second y equals. Pick number 1. Oops, let me do that again. Second y equals, pick number 1. Okay, make sure it's on, make sure it's the scatter plot, make sure it says L1, L2. Okay, then you just need to hit zoom and pick number 9. So there's my scatter plot. This time my dots are going down. So this is a negative correlation. Okay, now I'm going to have the calculator find the equation for the line of best fit. And since I already turned on the diagnostic, it's also going to tell me the correlation coefficient. So we do that by stat, calculate, number 4. And again, old calculators just hit enter. New calculators go down to calculate. And there it is. So A is 1, I'm going to round it, 1.4. And B, I'm going to say is 5.3. Then notice by the blinking cursor, there's an R value. That's the correlation coefficient, which is -0.92 if we round it. That's a very strong negative correlation. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to type these numbers in to my y equals. I already did the zoom 9. All right, so I'm going to type in, okay, I got to go back because I already forgot the numbers. Oh, shucks, I got to do it again. So A is -1.4 and B is 5.3. All right, so I'm going to go to my y equals, and I'm going to type in -1.4x plus 5.3, and when I graph it, it should go through the dots. There's my line of best fit. And the main reason to get a line of best fit is so you can make a prediction. You can use the equation and plug a number in for either x or y and solve for the other variable to make a prediction. All right, hopefully that helps.